The Federal High Court in Abuja on Monday ordered Governor Okpebholo of Edo State, the House of Assembly, and other parties in a suit filed by the 18 suspended local government chairmen in the state to maintain status quo. Justice Emeka Nwite, in a ruling, gave the order after counsel to the plaintiffs, Anderson Asemota, moved a motion ex parte to the effect. Earlier, Asemota, while moving the motion, told the court that the plaintiffs, who are local government chairmen, were suspended by the State House of Assembly and their resolution transmitted to Governor Okpebholo. The lawyer said the motion sought an order directing the parties in the suit to maintain status quo as at December 15, 2024. He based his argument on the ground that the Supreme Court in July of 2024 held that the state governors had no power to suspend elected local government chairs. He alleged that the suspension of the local government chairmen stemmed from their disagreements with the governor to operate a joint account against the Apex Court order. Asemota submitted that to ventilate their rights as enshrined in the Constitution, the plaintiffs had approached the courts in order not to resolve to self-help. He said what they were asking for is for the courts to make an order of status quo from December 15, 2024, and for the governor not to give effect to the Assembly's resolution. He told the court that the order suspending the 18 chairmen was made on December 17, 2024. The lawyer said the Supreme Court's judgment, the Edo State High Court order restraining the defendants from going ahead with the act, and an interview granted by the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF Lateef Fagbemi San, regarding the suspension were all exhibited in the motion. Justice Wite, who said extreme carefulness needed to be exercised in granting the relief, said, "I will only make order for parties to maintain a status quo pending the hearing and the determination of the substantive suit." Ruling, the judge said, after listening to the counsel to the applicant and going through the affidavit evidence, including the written address, I hereby make an order that parties should maintain a status quo pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice. The matter was subsequently adjourned until January 20th for hearing of the substantive suit. Well, this has been a developing story. What are your thoughts on this one?
So, first, I'm from Edo State. So, I think there are some issues there that it should not be allowed
What issues?
to grow.
Okay.
One, they are elected chairman
Yes.
of local government, same way the governor
Was elected.
And I think that, yes, I've argued here that the governor is relying on the local government law in Edo State to have asked and written to the House of Assembly. Because the foundation of this story was that he requested for the statements of account of the local government,
yes,
where he gave them 2 weeks, and then the local council chairman did not heed to that call. And he then wrote to the State House of Assembly saying, I requested this and this man refuses, relying on that law, telling the State House of Assembly to suspend them, because the law says the State House of Assembly has the power to suspend the local government for 2 months, depending on when investigation will be carried out. And relying on that, the State House of Assembly did pronounce that they are suspended. But I think the court came to the rescue of the local council chairman, saying that they cannot be suspended and all of that. And I think that let us not lay bad precedents. Yes, I am not a supporter of Obaseki and the things that he did and the local council chairman that came to power during his time, because these local council chairmen are of the PDP, while the governor is of the APC. And so you also cannot rule out politics. politics of trying to, because he who owns the grassroots owns what the politicians call structure. And so it is always believed that a governor would have the local council chairman around him from the same political party.
Why does it have to be that way?
No, you see, we are looking at governance. Politicians are already looking at the next elections. And they are looking at what would not impede their coming back to office, or reinforcing what will stop the APC from being a party at the Osadebe House.
But these local government chairmen were already there when the governor won the election.
No. Yes, they were already there 2 years.
They
years
were already
into
there before he won. So
2 years into, but what he's relying on is that he said he asked them for the statement of account.
Are those within his rights to demand?
Like I said the other day when I was here, I think that the local government must have a way that the government must do an oversight function on them.
Okay.
Because the local government, that's my argument, even though the other person who was here with me that they disagreed and all of that. Then my position was that the local government is not a state in a state. There are limits to the powers of what the local government can do. That's one. Two, as at the time that those statements of account were requested, there is what we call the jack, where the state and the local government money comes directly into from the federation account.
Okay.
It comes into that pool. The local government do not receive money on their own in Edo State. It comes into that pool. It is from that pool that they now start sending to local government A, B, C, and D. And the argument of the governor was that they want to find out what the local government had been doing, because he just came in as a governor. He wants to know what local government liabilities and how did that liabilities come in place. If salaries have not been paid and pensions have not been paid, why are those things not being paid? If you receive money, what were those monies meant for? Because ordinarily there are a percentage of money that they are supposed to receive. And he also wants to find out if the former state governor had been remitting the true picture that he said he has been remitting. And, you know, unfortunately, because last year the Supreme Court ruled that never again should we have the caretaker and others where a governor will just come and sack every elected local government chairman and then put in place what they call the caretaker committees or caretaker chairmen. But that politically was resolved to say that that would take effect from January 2025. So I think for me, the governor is right to request what he requested. But I have said that since the court accepted him, yes, we might not like the local government chairman. Yes, we might not agree with them. But if the court has ruled, let all of us as Democrats wait for the last pronouncement of the court. Yes, it might delay. Yes, it might, but what you have invariably done was to have reinforced the rule of law, so that tomorrow you will not be in that office forever. So that by tomorrow when you leave, that same law will not be used against you. Some persons are coming, so that that law too will not be used against them. And so, but this last one that they said the status quo ante should be maintained, it will be pretty difficult to say what was the status quo.
I was going to ask you that.
Because the status quo would then be that when the judgment came, it said maintain status quo. When the judge should maintain status quo had gone to December 17, because the suspension was done in December 17.
Right.
Is the status quo supposed to have taken place, or we are looking at December 17, or status quo from the judgment was the day the judgment was given? And so you will now have, because the court has not, if the court has said status quo is, the court should have defined what the status quo is. The court should have said, oh, the status quo that should remain should be that before they were suspended. But the court only said that status quo ante should remain. Then the governor's camp can also say that when the judgment came, they have been suspended. So that is the status quo. Let everybody wait. So, but I think the court should help us sometimes when they make these kinds of pronouncement. They should be able to define what the status quo is, because in that part of that thing I read was that even these things were seeking the relief to say that the judge should mention that from December 17, that the status quo should remain. So the court refuses and say no, that the status quo should remain. But I think that judgment would not solve anything. The governor's camp or the government camp would say that the status quo is that they have been suspended and let that status quo remain. While the other camp would say that the status quo is before the suspension.
I guess we'll get more clarity on that after January 20th as well.
Hopefully.